Every single day, we put so much of our lives online, all our sensitive information. But have you ever stopped to think, with all the threats out there, how do the professionals who protect us even begin to tackle that job? Well, it turns out they don't just wing it. They have a framework, a kind of guardian's guide for defending our entire digital world.
And that's a huge question, right? Because when you look at the news, it can feel pretty overwhelming. It's like this chaotic digital Wild West out there. So let's take a quick look at what that chaos actually looks like.
You see the headlines constantly. Massive data breaches, where the personal records of millions, sometimes hundreds of millions of people are just stolen, from companies we really trust too. And then you've got these insane ransomware attacks. This is nasty software that can literally lock up the computer systems of entire cities, schools, and even hospitals, holding them hostage until someone pays up. And it's not all just about fancy code and viruses. A lot of these threats are deeply human. They use really clever deception, what we call social engineering, to basically trick people into handing over the keys to the kingdom. Okay, so to fight that level of chaos, you can't just be reacting all the time. You absolutely need a plan. And for cybersecurity pros, that plan starts with this really elegant but super powerful set of guiding principles. Now, this has nothing to do with spies or the intelligence agency. In the world of cybersecurity, CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Think of this triad as the North Star for pretty much every decision a security professional makes. It's the whole point of their job. And this is where it gets really interesting. You can think of this as two sides of the exact same coin. On the left, you've got the Guardian's goals, that CIA triad we just talked about. And on the right, you've got the attacker's goals, which are, you guessed it, the complete opposite. So here's how it breaks down. The defender's goal of confidentiality, keeping secret, is directly threatened by disclosure. The goal of integrity, making sure data is accurate and trustworthy, is threatened by alteration. And the goal of availability, making sure you can actually access your stuff, is threatened by denial. For every defensive move, there's a specific attack it's designed to stop. Right? So before you can even think about building the walls of your fortress, you have to understand who is trying to get in and what kind of weapons they're carrying. Knowing your enemy really is half the battle. And let me tell you, the bad guys or threat actors are an incredibly diverse bunch. You've got your hacktivists who are driven by some political or social cause. You've got insider threats, maybe a disgruntled employee. Then there are the big guns, organized criminal syndicates who are in it purely for the money, and even nation-states with almost unlimited resources playing a whole different game. The primary weapon for a lot of these actors? Malware. This is just a catch-all term for any software that's designed to be malicious. We're talking everything from old-school viruses that mess up your files to that nasty ransomware that holds your entire computer hostage. But again, attackers don't just rely on code. As this bit from the source material points out, they often go after the weakest link in any security system, which is usually us, the people. Things like phishing emails, impersonation, and just hammering away at our passwords. They're all ways of trying to trick their way in. So, with a clear picture of the goals and the enemies, how do you actually fight back? Well, this is where the defender's blueprint comes in. It's this whole arsenal of specific tools and tactics designed for defense. First up is a big one, cryptography. Honestly, you can just think of this as the modern art of secret codes. It's how Guardians scramble messages and data so that they're totally unreadable to anyone who doesn't have the specific digital key to unlock them. Next up is something called penetration testing. This is basically ethical hacking. Professionals will literally try to attack their own systems, but in a totally controlled way, to find all the security holes before a real bad guy does. It's all about finding the cracks in your own fortress walls first. But let's be real. What happens when an attacker actually gets through? Well, that's when incident response kicks in. This is the emergency action plan. It's a pre-made, step-by-step guide on how to contain the damage, kick the intruder out, and get everything back to normal as fast as humanly possible. And of course, things are way more complicated today. With the cloud and virtualization, our data doesn't just live in one physical building anymore. Securing the cloud is kind of like defending a castle that exists everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. It's a huge challenge. This chart does a fantastic job of showing you where the pros really focus their time and energy. You can see the biggest slice of the pie is security operations. And that tells you something really important. Cybersecurity isn't just about building walls and walking away. It's about actively patrolling those walls every single day. It is a very hands-on job. So when you put all of these tools and tactics and principles together, you arrive at this final, really crucial understanding about what this work actually is. It is not a one-and-done kind of thing. It's a continuous, never-ending watch. And look, if you take away just one single thing today, let it be this. You can't just go out and buy a security box and call it a day. Cybersecurity is not a product you install. It is a process you have to live and breathe every day. It demands constant vigilance and constant adaptation. That whole process is perfectly captured by what's called the risk management cycle. Professionals are in this constant loop. They identify new risks, they assess how bad they could be, they implement controls to defend against them, and then they monitor everything, which of course leads them to identify new risks, and the cycle starts all over again. Ultimately, just as the source material reminds us, this all comes down to people. It's about dedicated professionals using this framework to play a vital, active role in protecting all of us from a threat landscape that's getting more complex by the minute. And that really brings us to one final thought. If security is a process, not a product, and if humans are so often the biggest target, well, then the defense can't just be left to the professionals, can it? So it leaves us all with a pretty important question. What is our role in this never-ending watch?